Hello and welcome to the third game of the third place decider for the AMD Premier League. One of these two teams is going to be going home with $500 and, more importantly, with at least the title of getting the third place in this competition that has a lot of star teams in it. And we are going to be seeing if it's MUFC or Rising Stars. Both teams have taken a game so far. The game that Rising Stars has taken was very convincing for them. MUFC just taking a game maybe a bit less convincing, but very strong performance from them regardless. And we'll see who will take that third prize. And I'm not by myself. Once again, I'm joined by Basskip. Welcome back.
Great to be back. And yeah, game 3, it's the third place decider. And like we said last game, it's way more on the line than just that $500. So I think a matter of pride for both teams. Rising Stars, I mean, if they lose, they can, it's easy enough to say, oh, MUFC, they've been invited, fair enough. But if they can take this one, I think that's definitely a bit of a statement. And as you said, there's been a tip from IG that Rattlesnake and Rising Stars, you got to watch out for them. So we'll see if they're going to live up to that reputation in this game.
Yep, well, if we look through the brackets, which I have there right now in front of me for at least for people to watch, you can't see it unfortunately, but we can. But we can see that Rising Stars already did a good job getting it to this point to begin with, because they beat Orange in the quarterfinals. They were able to beat Sun in the best out of one in the first round of the competition. Actually, that is Orange. Rising Stars beat First Departure to get here.
Wow.
So that is quite nice
for
them.
First Departure are not a weak team.
Exactly.
Any stretch of the imagination, yeah.
So I guess actually Rising Stars has had one of the more tough journeys to get to this point, actually. And then only yesterday being dropped down by Tong Fu, who made it, of course, to the finals, which we're going to see later today, which is going to be a best out of 5. MUFC, they made it, well, I say they made it, but they didn't make it through Zenith yesterday, so that's why they are in the third place decider. Zenith going to be up against Tong Fu in that grand finals. MUFC did beat Mineski, and they also beat TNC Gaming in the first round of this competition. So that is why these teams are all here. And we're going to see who's going to be the rightful bronze placeholder. So, bans.
Lone Druid makes it through?
Yeah, not very specific, well, not very surprising, and actually Rising Star is going for the LGD in strat. With the Juggernaut and the Lone Druid, picking them both up, having a lot of pushing potential. We see this combination over and over again. And they were also able to pick up the Shadow Demon this game as their first pickup, as we've seen both teams favoring that hero very highly.
Yeah, so Rising Stars, they've really shown their hand here. The game plan is aggressive tri-lane, Shadow Demon Juggernaut +1, so they're going to be able to get something out. It's going to be... Ideally, I think, they would love Leshrac. Otherwise, there's Lena. Otherwise, there's Jakiro. They can find a follow-up stun to get that spin damage down. Lone Druid's gonna try and solo the safe lane. He's probably gonna be matched up against the Darkseer. So for MUFC right now, I actually kind of like taking their mid. Though I think we're also pretty well positioned to see a gyrocopter from them at some point. So maybe keep an eye out for that. If it's not the pickup here, then Rising Star is probably gonna ban it. The MUFC perhaps considering taking something like the Queen of Pain. Templar Assassin, so they're going to have that, secure that mid lane, and have someone who is going to be able to get stuff done in the mid game to try and stall out this push and enable their carries in the Darkseer for the late game.
And probably ban out the Queen of Pain still. We've seen MUFC pick up the Queen of Pain both games that we had so far. So this time going for a TA instead. Interesting choice actually. And maybe the main choice for that is, or main factor is the minus armor that it brings, of course, for that druid, lone druid that is. So curious to see if they are indeed going to be banning out that Queen of Pain. As we see a Nature's Prophet ban coming out from Rising Stars, so banning out some more split push. Of course, that was the hero that for MUFC kept them in the game for a long time, even though they weren't really getting ahead that much. But that pushing power, that was definitely there, and they just want to have the most pushing powers of the two teams, so they ban out the Nature's Prophet so that MUFC doesn't have it at all, actually.
So, Rising Stars, one ban needs to go on Coddle. I mean, Juggernaut and Lone Druid can kind of keep pushing through the Coddle anyway, but he stalls so nicely, so I think I'd like to see a ban there from them. I mean, FC, they're going to choose it. I guess he's equally as good at pushing as he is at counter pushing.
Yeah.
And MUFC, so do we... What are we hoping to see from them? So Rising Stars, oh, they could actually level 1 Roshan with with the setup that they've got right now. They just need a little bit of damage. Okay. The one thing that I want to see, and we saw Axe yesterday, right? And we saw MUFC run it. I want to see some solo mid Axe against the Templar Assassin.
You want to see it from
it's a treat. Yeah, it's a treat. It's an absolute treat to watch. It's the saddest Templar Assassin that you have ever seen.
Yeah, of course, the reflection doesn't really work against Battle Hunger because it's
no.
It's HP removal, I believe. You can call it that, or how can you call that properly? What's the right name for that? Because I know the mechanics how it works, but I don't know
damage
name.
It is HP removal. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, who knows? So far, I mean, there's plenty of options to set against that Templar Assassin.
Remaining.
Maybe even Juggernaut being one of them, if they really want to. With the Leshrac now getting banned out, and of course the follow-up support from the Shadow Demon disruption. And so we're gonna see just Rising Stars banning out long laners, banning out solo lanes, which is quite surprising because in theory they've already got the Darkseer to do that job.
Yeah, that is a little bit interesting. Though MUFC could look to put the Darkseer in the tri lane, in the tri because he's going to be really nice at escaping the Juggernaut if Rising Stars don't manage to find a really long duration stun, and MUFC choosing to ban the Leshrac and the Lina. It's not going to happen. Oh, and just quick correction. It's not HP removal, it is just magical damage on the Battle Hunger. But the other nice thing is that Culling Blade is going to completely dispel Refraction before Axe dunks. So that's another big deal.
And they're still going to pick up that Queen of Pain as their solo mid.
It's safer. It's way safer than going for the Axe, that's for sure.
Unfortunately for us.
Yeah.
We are still having the Jakiro in the pool, by the way. That's a hero that Rising Stars used before and worked out very well together with their Shadow Demons, so who knows? Might see it again. Yep. They have got their 3 lanes sorted, so it does definitely fit into their lineup. In theory, they could also still go for a jungle hero if they really wanted to. But it kind of depends on what they're expecting from MUFC, how aggressive they want to be, how aggressive they're expecting MUFC to be.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, MUFC, a lineup composed of staples right now wouldn't be too bad. So they could pick up the Jakiro, great synergy with the Darkseer, and they could pick themselves up a Gyro as well, depending on how they feel about that tri-lane. Yeah, so there's going to be a Gyrocopter. They interestingly passed the support back, so Rising Stars can take the Jakiro if they want. Alternatively, they just need to find some other stun. They need to have some way to keep the Juggernaut spinning on top of whoever they've locked down. So... I don't really like Lion or
Oh, again?
Oh, okay. But this is a push wisp. This is a hopefully a relatively early couple of points in overcharge. Tether the bear. Bear is angry. That style of wisp. So Rising Stars, we talked about it game 2. One of their signature pickups, and we'll see what it does in this game. It's not that strong in tri-v-tri, so I don't know how Rising Stars do this if they choose to go aggressive, because MUFC, I think they've got the power to turn this around. They take a Jakiro, they take any follow-up stun, they lift, they stun, Gyrocopter comes in with the rocket barrage, and I mean Wisp, if he's in a bad spot, he dies unless he gets defensively disrupted. So yeah, I'm not 100% sold on this Wisp pickup.
I would have liked to see Jakiro, but I understand the Wisp as well. As you say, I mean, it's very nice for pushing. And also Juggernaut Wisp is actually a decent combination. We've seen that a bit in the Western Dota. Not as much though as other combinations, but we have seen it before, and it does give some extra potential and kind of like shuts down the TA at some point, because TA is of course the one that wants to go for the ganks, for the mid-game dominance, and with a Wisp on the map, it's just going to be all that much harder. And a Sand King this time on MUFC. What's with those Sand Kings? Like, Sand Kings are great, they're really those kind of heroes that make stuff happen on the map and make things interesting to watch, even more interesting. But I'm not really sold on him fitting in this current game.
I think people just want the AoE stuns so badly. I think that's part of it. So it comes down to, do you take Lion or do you take Sand King? I kind of like Lion maybe a little bit more here, but obviously there's a case for both. And Sand King's pretty nice with Rubik. Obviously you can change the positioning so you can actually make up for the terrible range of Burrow Strike early on. The one problem for Sand King is going to be he doesn't want to Burrow Strike into a spin. That's going to be disastrous for him. So counter initiating onto Rising Stars is going to be tough. And
seconds
yeah, we'll
remaining.
see. I think Rising Stars as well. The nice thing, what we don't often see, the aggressive tri-lane Wisp with the Juggernaut, the extra move speed is going to really help him stay on top of heroes like the Rubik, who only start out, with a very measly 290.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, talking about the Rubik, he is gonna be played by Ling. We're gonna be seeing the Sand King played by by Winter. Wow, what am I saying? Too Fucking Good will be playing the Darkseer, of course. Again, we have Huntrash player on the Gyro, and FC will be playing the Templar Assassin.
Yeah. And getting into the game on. Oh God. So I'm doing Rising Stars. Sorry, I got distracted for a second.
No, it's okay.
So okay, on Rising Stars we have Super playing the Wisp. That's not DK Super, that's the other Super. Sautuji is going to be on the Juggernaut. We've got Air playing the Queen of Pain heading towards mid. XDD is going to be on the Shadow Demon. And that leaves Mofi to play the Lone Druid.
Yep, nothing really surprising at that. Going for a
30
safe tri
seconds
lane.
to battle.
Lone Druid, solo off lane, Queen of Pain mid. Nothing really surprising on either side, actually. Darkseer off lane, solo mid, FC on this TA, and a tri lane on top as well. And they could actually have a tri lane-ish for a quattro lane with Too Fucking Good going the way of the jungle, because I'm not sure how much he can actually do on that bottom lane.
I mean, I think he has an okay time against the Wisp lane, at least to start, so we'll see how pressured he feels. I don't know, I thought Rising Stars were so well positioned to go for an aggressive tri-lane, have the Lone Druid farm the safe lane solo, the Queen of Pain, does an okay job mid against the Templar Assassin, but in the end, not feeling confident about that tri-lane. So this means that we're going to be waiting for Wisp, we're waiting for the Lone Druid, and I don't know, I feel like a farming Juggernaut kind of wastes a little bit of his early aggressive power. So hopefully Rising Stars, we get the fast 6 on the Juggernaut, we get the fast 6 on the Wisp, from there rotate the bear bot, and then have the Juggernaut, the Wisp, and everybody else, bouncing around the map picking up kills. Because a farm Juggernaut just doesn't scale in the same way that a farm Gyrocopter is going to. So
Yeah,
I think
and of course it's
too much additional farm.
It gives us a bit more of a stalemate game for the first couple of minutes, because there's not going to be a kill until there's going to be a rotation, which might be this actually. Disruption, XDD wanting to go aggressive. FC is going to be taking a lot of harassment but doesn't go down. He still has 2 tangos as well. He's going to be delayed for his bubble quite a bit with that actually. Misses a couple of last hits. Will be still getting it in time actually.
I'm really interested with Rising Stars. They made the decision to pool a poor man shield onto the Juggernaut, and from the very start of the game, so he's had that from minute 0. I don't think he needed it. I think they could have used that extra gold to pick up some sentries, give the sentries to the Queen of Pain on mid. That means Queen of Pain isn't going to get meld dodged on her stings. It makes the lane so much easier for her. So I'm not sold on this PMS, because it helps Juggernaut's last hitting a little bit, but he could have picked it up already if he just started with the stout shield in his own region. So
do you think that they were expecting an aggressive tri-lane from MUFC?
I don't know. I feel like if they wanted the try they had to go and force it, is the thing. MUFC not going to be willing to take that, especially because they have the Darkseer, and Darkseer does, run rings around the Lone Druid a little bit if he plays it right. So yeah, I think MUFC are actually going to be really happy with this lane configuration.
Yeah, I think so too, because, Gyro will be able to get free farm. In terms of very late game, they still want to, of course, try to not let it go too late, because a Lone Druid and a Juggernaut late game will be, if not on par, at least, or if not ahead, at least on par with and a Gyrocopter and a Templar Assassin. So they'll probably be the ones to go first, but then they're gonna be, I don't know, it will be tough, because they will be going into a Wisp and a Juggernaut, which is also not easy. As we see tower actually going down, level 2 healing ward will help that. Trying to force Darkseer back, but it's not gonna happen.
So TFG sees it, he just says, nah, whatever. It's just a tier 1. We're kind of happy to let this one farm. As far as the late game situation is concerned, I feel like if MUFC just keep the Lone Druid pinned down fairly well, then I think they're okay. Darkseer, obviously, a late game hero in his own right, and the tough thing for Rising Stars is just going to be getting into these fights. They're against a call down, they're against a wall, they're against a vacuum. There's a lot of ways to keep the Lone Druid and the Juggernaut away from their intended targets. So.
Yeah, if it's going to be turning out to a team fighty game, MUFC will be having the upper hand, not just because of the cooldown. The epicenter is there. The Darkseer, one of the bigger team fight heroes, might not have big ass disable, but he will leave that to the Sand King, of course, with the Burrow Strike. As we actually have got Air being forced to use his self. FC getting himself a lot of harassment up on him. He is taking a lot of harassment himself as well, though. Doesn't have enough mana for another refraction. Does have still 2 bottle charges, but is now up against Air that has got full HP, an okay mana bar, and he has to be careful. As we have a dive, actually. Too fucking good. Did come in on the bottom lane to try and stop the push from happening. He's going to be finding a bit of a battle against Super. Super able to force him back. No boots. Gonna be able to make that encounter quite slow, but the tower will still go down, and that's the second last hit on the tower that the Juggernaut takes here. He is filthy rich for 4 minutes into the game. It is so insane. He's got 3k net worth, second highest is at 2k for someone that doesn't even have towers down. He's not doing that though.
Yeah, so now he just needs a couple of levels, and then they need to start that very early aggressive play that I talked about, start to get the Lone Druid off this lane so that he can get farmed, so that he can be relevant, so that he can help enable the pushes on the subsequent towers. So Rising Stars, they do have a game plan running this defensive tri-lane as opposed to the aggressive one, though it's a question of continuing to follow through and continuing to be aggressive. Because for now, I think MUFC is still okay. They lost the 2 towers, but unless that gold difference early turns into something significant, I don't know if they're going to be too worried.
Yeah, and the pushing power from MUFC is okay-ish too with that flat cannon of the gyro. They could try to push down the top lane. The only difference is that there is actually someone hanging around there for Rising Stars. So if they do push down that top lane tier 1, they'll give Mofi extra space for experience and farm, and that's not something that they want to do, as we actually have a smoke up for MUFC. Ling and Winter gonna be going mid lane, gonna be trying to help out. The TA Sentry Ward actually goes down. They want to take him. Shadow Strike hits, but here's also the Darkseer looking for a Burrow Strike, finding it on XDD. And XDD telekinesis as well will go down. First blood goes away of 2 fucking good. And Ling gonna be running himself away, blink away from Air. No further kills going either way, but the first blood stings on the hands of MUFC. And that is 4 heroes helping out in that mid lane. Nice counter initiation.
Yeah, I mean, ganking with a Wisp when the game plan is to walk up to the kill is kind of weird. Just not to, not expecting MUFC to TP. Maybe expecting 1 TP. The supports being smoked was obviously a bit of an X factor there. But Rising Stars, I feel like if they'd just gotten the farm on the Wisp, got the level 6 on the Juggernaut, that first blood could have been theirs. Almost guaranteed. So maybe a little bit over aggressive. They're off to a really good start, but we're not 10 minutes into the game. It's still only 6. People can still afford to find a couple more minutes of farm before looking for these aggressive strats. So I think they just need to take a deep breath, consider, what levels do we have, what tools do we actually have to get these kills. But big one now up, they've got the Omni Slash. So it looks like now they're going to go for something on top.
Yep, and they have the smoke, going to be sitting behind that Lone Druid, looking for him as bait. Not sure how successful it will be. MUFC support, I'm not close by it, so they're not really intending on doing anything just yet. I'm just warding for now, and they're looking for it. Rising Stars, they want to find someone. Is it going to be the Gyro? We see Gyro being very safe though. Oh, hello. Oh.
That was awkward.
Yeah. Omni Slash will still save the day though.
Oh, okay, so DS comes back in, so they get the kill that they want.
Here's the rest though, cooldown coming down, and all of a sudden, Rising Stars, you have to be careful. That's an exchange, support for support. Juggernaut will be picked off as well though, and all of a sudden, Rising Stars not looking so happy with this one. They're backing off. Air, running for his life, will be getting a tether, will still be able to blink himself away, and should be able to do just that, but first of all, the disruption was, I think it was a misclick. Mistakes happen.
Honestly, a misclick, because the game plan has to be, you see the Darkseer surge, you think, Surge is on cooldown, if I just waste the last couple of seconds of this, the last little bit, then we kill him. No problem.
He won't be able to run.
No questions asked. Yeah, so just a bit of a misclick. Might have been, to do with the fog there as well, since we were in the middle of some trees, so a bit unfortunate. And MUFC, I mean, they're no slackers when it comes to this early game damage either. If you let the Gyrocopter get near people, especially with that, that call down picked up as early as it is, and the support's such a low level, I'm still surprised to see Rising Stars going so aggressive. I think they could just wait, get the 6 on the Wisp, and use that. And level 6 on XDD isn't going to be bad either. So I think maybe they're trying to pressure this one just a little bit too hard. I mean, they could wait, get level 6, and that would probably be another Omni Slash off cooldown for them.
Yeah, well, they smoke up once again. Once again, go top. Huntress player hanging around there. You, of course, got a kill there in that engagement. I mean, there were 2 for 2 in the end in the trade. And he's looking for it. They're looking for it. Oh, hello, Shadow Poison. Exactly on the right spot. Now he realizes that he's going to be in trouble as well. Gonna try to TP out. Entangles are going to be needed to stop that, but no such luck for the bear. Only gets one last hit out before he actually is able to TP out, so Gyro gonna be just fine. 4 heroes top though. This might be turning into a tier 1 tower, which is something that Rising Stars will gladly take. They got the gold advantage from those towers. Of the previous ones almost negated again because of that roaming around. And they need to get the gold continuing to go in their way, and if they can't get it by kills, well, then at least maybe get it by towers.
Yeah, but as always, the towers are a limited resource, so we'll see in MUFC getting a bit of pushing done as well. I mean, the aggressive start that Rising Stars have, but it was great. Oh, super.
Yeah,
you poor shiny ball.
Ooh, nice tether though. Might be enough. Meld. Disruption is still going to be there. Sentry Ward goes down as well. Here comes the Juggernaut, and he is going to be having it on the slash. Looking for just a target. Can't find it for now. And sees everybody backing up. Nice haste rune for FC helping out, of course, as well. 4 heroes in the mid of Rising Stars, looking for that last tier 1 tower, but the counter initiation comes. They burrow strike in. Fatebolt going through as well. Telekinesis. Though shall not only slash, and he indeed can't. He Blade Furious away. No kills going either way, but they do defend their tower, and they do make sure there's no mana up on the Juggernaut anymore, force him back. Still has 8 stick charges though, so I guess he still has it if he really wants to, but he'd rather goes home because he's really low on HP.
Rising Stars playing a really weird numbers game. They just got defended, so they pushed his 5, they got held back by 4, Gyrocopter gets farm, he gets a tower. So, the game is looking far more even. There's a lot of towers taken early by Rising Stars, but MUFC are finding the exchanges, they're finding the exchanges in terms of kills. And I still feel like Rising Stars just that little bit over eager to get things done. They could be turning these fights. Oh,
yeah,
kill
that
on
was,
mid.
Yeah, I saw it.
I looked away, and then I looked back, and it was.
Well, I have my camera there, but there was no hope whatsoever. Ooh, maybe there's hope for this though. Maybe there's hope for this Juggernaut. Looking for Winter Burrow Strikers there, gonna be able to be saved. Maybe FC, they can take him. The refraction isn't there. He still has 7 stick charges, but it won't be enough, and he will be dropping. And Io getting the last hit there. So again, an exchange, mid solo mid for solo mid, but the tower going down with that as well. And that was still the gold of the Templar Assassin.
Yeah. So MUFC, I think another profitable, trade for them. And I mean, we still don't have level 6 on Wisp. We're 11 minutes in.
Yeah, I know.
What is?
He's been in 3 kills, and all 3 kills that have happened so far. He's just been roaming so much that he really hasn't been focusing on getting gold nor levels, because gold he's not got either.
Yeah,
he's got Tranquil and a lot of branches, but
I don't know, from Rising Stars. Like, if they were gonna take the Wisp, at least make use of it. It's really strange. It's gonna help the Lone Druid pushing later on in the game, so he's not gonna be, he's not gonna be completely useless in the late game. But getting off to such an aggressive early start, I was really hoping that we were gonna see just farm up the level 6 on the supports, and then just go for the timing push. Oh, they get Contrast player though.
Yeah, that's a good
Sonic Wave and
Sonic Wave Omnislash being used for them. They might be able to get FC as well, but here comes the Burrow Strike. Vacuum in there as well. Scream coming off from FC, but no kill following up on that one. And I think that Rising Stars will be able to continue the pressure. And they are indeed.
So a nice pickup.
Could be an Epicenter Surge in for Winter again. Burrow Strike up on 2. Going away again. It's gonna be Mofi that goes down. His Lone Druid. They want more. Can they find more is the question. With TP. Look, he TP'd. He's gonna be picking up his teammates. Oh, so cute. Tethers, stuns, FC, gonna go down. Great kill by the Juggernaut. It is gonna be too fucking good. Running himself away. Will have an illusion rune to help him out. Should be able to be safe.
And, I mean, just the numbers difference from Wisp. MUFC, they say, okay, look, there's only 3 left. Let's just keep going. And immediately Wisp TP's in, and he didn't even bring anyone. I mean, just his numbers alone helps to turn that fight around in a small way. So that's what we could have been seeing just a little bit earlier. I mean, Rising Stars could have been applying split pressure. They could have pushed with 3 and then have the Wisp, relocate whoever in. So I don't know. I still think weird decision making from them, though obviously the game is sitting kind of even. Golden experience in the hands of MUFC right now. So I don't know how stressed they're feeling about this game.
Well, I don't really know, because I said earlier on, like, late game, it's gonna be tough, but I mean, you're right, if they at least shut down one of the two, they will be okay. Lone Druid is now actually picking up on some farm again. Where is his bear, actually? Is the bear actually dead? He doesn't have a bear. No,
nope,
I can't see what items he has.
He's bearless.
That's a bit of a shame.
Well, we'll see in 45 seconds, I guess. Mental note, and we'll check it out once he gets that resummoned. But with that death, I can't expect it to be too much. Though there is a bunch of tower gold on it. Oh,
yeah,
air mid.
Burst strike gonna hit, cooldown gonna hit. Let's see if the blink is in time. Vacuum blinks right into the rocket barrage. Welcome to the party. Air should be going down here. And the gyrocopter picks up the kill. Disruption, soul catcher. They still want to try and take down Winter, but he burst strikes away. Gonna be taking Ling instead, and they should be able to get it. But the surge, the escapes are just there for MUFC. They don't need to worry. They got their backs off each other. The surge actually, cast out from the high ground. Nicely done.
Yeah, nicely done. They get a pick off. They don't lose anyone. They did use 5 there, so I mean, Lone Druid's getting a little bit of farm at bot, but he's still not all that threatening in this game. So. What's he got? He's got some phase boots up, so not even any progress towards the armlet just yet. So that's going to be still a while away. And I mean, the only easy tower left for them to take is this tier 1 on mid. And I don't think MUFC are going to be giving that one up without a fight. So Rising Stars, it's the same pattern. They're just going to come straight in on mid and try and get this.
Yep, maybe.
We shall see. There's another call down, there's another vacuum.
Yeah, maybe something with the Wisp ultimate we're going to be seeing again. Hopefully. As that is up. MUFC, they have defended this tier 1 before. Are they actually going to let it slide? Yes, they are.
Okay, so.
Disruption. They don't really want to go there.
No. Rubik with the sneaky healing ward as well. So.
It's too powerful. Too powerful. It's healing ward level 4, I believe. Yeah, level 3 actually.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Hunter's player. We haven't really seen that much of him. I mean, he's died once, of course, when we saw him getting picked up in the jungle with 2 ultis being used. He has been in a couple of fights, but he is still building, or actually he just has finished his Shadow Blade, I believe. Yep, there it is in the courier. So we might see some more from him now as well. And just to go over items in general a bit, because we kind of haven't been doing that much. But I guess there's not that many items up, but we do see the mechanism up on the Darkseer. Well, there's no sign of a mechanism yet on the side of Rising Stars. We have got Juggernaut getting his Yasha and his drum, so looking really good in terms of farm. And I am now going to be seeing the bear. Finally, he doesn't have anything, as you imagined might be the case. Oh, really? They want to go for Huntress. There's a Shadow Blade helping out, though. Burrow Strike up on Super. Cooldown not really doing anything, and Huntress player will still be going down. The dust was there. And it is Ling that's gonna be staying alive for now, unless Air can make something happen. Yes, he can. Sonic Wave, and there goes the Demonic Purge. Air gonna be trying to run for now, because here comes FC. Super duper fast is gonna be going to go for XDD. There is the kill. Mofi gonna get a burst strike, gonna get melted, and gonna be going down as well. That haste rune on FC. FC will make sure that nobody is safe from him, and he will want to go for Super as well. And he should be able to get this, unless the Juggernaut can really do something against it. But I don't think he can. That haste rune. Haste rune's too much, and he just thinks, okay, next.
Yeah.
Is there an Omni Slash? Is there anything? There's 15 stick charges actually, and that might be enough. Surge up on FC, the haste rune gone, diving the tower, melt damage, careful, there's no refraction. And FC is gonna be running, and he is getting chased down. Juggernaut looking for something. I'm not sure if that's the right call, coming back in for a meld. And now we are gonna be seeing MUFC backing off. A fairly even trade, I think. It's not over yet? It is over. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, looks like that's gonna be at the end of the day. Wait, who died? We had a death on Gyrocopter to start out the fight. Rising Stars, they lost the Lone Druid. They lost Shadow Demon. They didn't lose Wisp.
They did.
I believe. They did?
Was the first time that Wisp died.
Ah, yep. Okay. So I think MUFC, doing pretty well for themselves in that fight. The haste run on FCFC, no small matter. I think there was an opportunity for Juggernaut to maybe save the Wisp, and yeah, there was a thought there. But Juggernaut walked up and he just kept trying to hit the Templar Assassin as opposed to just running away and letting the Wisp have somebody to tether to. So Wisp died with tether off cooldown. He just didn't have a target. So I mean, he did get some damage out, but got forced back in the end.
Yep.
Juggernaut's yelling, so I'm gonna keep an eye on bot. I have him selected, so I'm
Ah, yeah, he is yelling because he was just clearing out a creep wave.
Yeah.
It's also important to yell when you do that, as we have actually got a minor Asian stack being ready to take down for Hunter's player. Hunter's player, he just had his oh, he's actually gonna get. They're gonna go for this. I'm not sure why, but there's an Omni Slash. I guess that's why, because they can just pick up someone whenever there's an Omni Slash. They can just teleport somewhere. The dust was already used, so everybody was visible, even the gyrocopter. He does get left behind by the wisp, but it should be okay. But I was gonna say, like, that was the first time Gyrocopter actually shown his Shadow Blade, and instantly there was already dust on the side of Rising Star. So very good anticipation of what they would have needed to take down the Gyro. And they're gonna be going for Roshan.
Nice decision from them. They've almost got the armlet up on the bear, so that next item, well, that first big item for him is coming along. But MUFC, oh, this could be bad. There's a vacuum. There's everything.
Let's see who's gonna be the first one to initiate. There goes the tether. It's gonna be too fucking good. That's gonna be a lot of trouble. Mechanism helps out. Can he do something? Vacuum is still used, but that is it. And he goes down. The buyback comes from the Shadow Demon, who still went down. IO went down as well. So 2 kills going the way of MUFC, 1 going the way of Rising Stars. And it is gonna be both teams backing off afterwards. Not gonna be able to throw down that many ultis. I mean, the cooldown was still there in the Sonic Wave, but no Darkseer wall, and that was actually the one that I was waiting for. But just that too fucking good. He got caught out and he died.
Yeah, really good initiation from, well, pretty good initiation from Rising Stars, especially given that it looked like MUFC were going to be the ones getting the jump. I think maybe there was a question of whether or not, how many people for Rising Stars were actually in the pit, because, I mean, they've got Vacuum, they've got Burst, like, they've got big initiation, probably not expecting it to go quite that way, so nicely played by Rising Stars. And Air almost has his Orchid finished up, so we do actually have item pickups, coming along for them right now, despite having stalled in terms of, pushing down towers just that little bit.
Yeah, well, Roshan is still up, so that still warrants for a fight. They now realize that Hunter's player is there around there as well, took a rune. And it looks like Rising Stars is actually giving up the Roshan a bit. Nah, they're not. They couldn't be. They have everything up again apart from the Sonic Wave, which will be up again very shortly. Actually, 50 seconds. But they're going in. They have an Omni Slash.
Fight.
Yeah, Juggernaut just looking for one target. If they can just make this fight 5-on-4, that would already be such a big help.
Oh,
so,
MUFC, are they gonna smoke all the way around?
I think so. Yeah, we see the arrow drawn. It's kind of awkward because, they could have just gone the other way, but yeah, they're gonna be coming from the sides. No wards up that can see MUFC walking past here, and they're gonna be finding them. Surgeon for FC and Tangle. Oh my god, that's just an anti-climax that they needed. Vacuum back into the bear. At least they might be able to get him, but doesn't even look like that. That was a bit of an awkward. Well, yeah, that was a bit sad.
Yeah, that was a bit of a sad team fight. FC's like, okay, here we go. 10-second BKB. I'm slowing everybody. I'm gonna make them run in weird directions, and then Darkseer's gonna come in, and we're gonna get the whole team fight, and then entangle. So that was that was the end of that chapter.
The anticipation was there. You saw MUFC; they were ready to take it, and then entangle. No can do.
Yeah.
But Rising Stars not feared. No, not forced away. Anyways, gonna be seeing them continuing for the tier 3. Who cares about Roshan? They still have that Omni Slash ready at the waiting, as the home missile is gonna be hitting up on the Juggernaut, just delaying that. Maybe they can pick up some people beforehand. Bear gonna try to go for some entangles. Can't find them for now.
Yeah, both teams
sticking around.
Yeah, just can't find the initiation quite. Nice silence from Air. Helps out in that fight a little bit. Well, stops the wall going down, I think, from TF2. And the bear doing what the bear does best, which is be a huge pain in the butt.
Yeah, oh, Orchid up on Winter, making sure that he can't go for that epicenter. And that's of course the Orchid on the Queen of Pain ready. And as you said earlier, I mean, super short cooldown, so you can just spam that out. Just making sure, just in case Winter was gonna go for that epi. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger, even though he's building towards it. Needs still a bit more gold. If they take this fight, he'll have his Blink for the next fight, but are they actually going to be taking this fight, and if they do, are they going to be winning it is the question. I mean, there's a Sonic Wave, there's an Omni Slash, there's Entangles,
Radiant's bottom
There's
tower
everything. But
is
Rising
under
Stars, they've had enough. They back off, they rotate, and they're going to be having their Juggernaut farming bottom again with 2,700 gold. And I don't think they're going to give you off Roshan. So maybe it's a bit of a fake back still.
Yeah, well, they're coming in. Ooh.
Yeah, Juggernaut on his way back as well after farming a bit on the bottom lane, pushing the lane back out. And just dancing around each other here. And Tangles needed Winter. Oh, yeah, he Winter is dead. Silence, stop, can't do anything. Too fucking good. Trying to get himself away. Cooldown coming down still, and this slash going through. It is FC that is still able to pick up the Shadow Demon. Mofi running for his life as his bears doing the works. Able to pick up FC. Winter back again, looking for a Burrow Strike up on Super. Might be able to get that one out of play as the Lone Druid still goes down. It is 3 dead on the side of Rising Stars as we see Juggernaut getting away unscratched. The TA still down though. And good buyback from Winter. He needed that to help his team. Even though the Epicenter wasn't really used. Just the threat of him buying back and the Burrow Strikes that he was able to help out with. Just making that big of a difference.
Yeah, and the buyback really nice. I mean, even if he just influenced the fight in any small way, winning it meant that they're able to head into the pit to grab this Roshan. Interestingly, well, unfortunately, Air goes down without getting that ult off, so that's not great as far as that team fight's concerned. And we actually had a healing ward on both sides of the fight there, so it lasted a little bit longer than maybe expected. Oh, and XDD, he's gonna go down, call down, and Juggernaut, can he escape? I'm not sure.
He is very fast, but the trap is still there. He does have face boots again, but the Burrow Strike is first, and they will finally be able to kill him off, because that was his wicked kill streak down. So a lot of gold going the way of Rubik, and they might be able to get more out of the back of this one. The creep wave is not really there though. Not really helping that much out, as Super is going to be running himself away from the location as well. And it looks like they won't be able to get a tier 2 out of it, but maybe the tier 1 top that is still standing might be something that they were looking at.
Yeah, they can probably get 2 towers out of this Aegis, I would suspect. They've got the BKB finished up on Gyrocopter as well. So that's really nice as far as these team fights are concerned. And yeah, MUFC, I mean, now with a... Well, starting to push the experience and gold into a much more significant position. Starting to ramp up a bit.
Vacuum, no TP for you. Vacuum into Burrow Strike, Melt going through. No, just not in time, and the Blink is first. FC not being close enough to help out. Tower still goes out, of course, on the top lane. Gyro picking that one up. Rising Stars did come on to defend it, but at least force them back to make sure that they won't take more than just a tier 1. But MUFC taking a tower, not taking a kill in air though. Quite surprised that they weren't able to do that, using 3 heroes to get that. As there's now a Blink Dagger up on Ling's Rubik. And the Blink Dagger 20 gold away for Winter, which he now could be purchasing. So, I mean, we've seen a bit of a lack of epicenters purely because he can't get, he can't get the initiation right, and I understand that. I mean, it's tough to do that without the Blink Dagger, but right now, with the Blink, team fight, it should be going MUFC's side almost every single time.
Yeah, I mean, both supports now have blinks. They both picked them up within the last 2 minutes, so that's going to be a really big deal as far as these fights are concerned. And FZ has his BKB. Well, he's actually had that for a while. Yeah, we saw that first BKB try to use mid, so he's had that for a bit. Darkseer, much progression, not really. He's just starting to work his way towards a Hex. But MUFC looking, time's looking pretty good for them. And yeah, we still haven't seen them make use of this, this 6,000 gold worth of pickups, well, 7,000 between the Gyrocopter BKB and those 2 Blink Daggers on the supports. So with the Aegis, I think it's nothing but aggression from here and just look to find a fight. And it can even be, kind of a messy team fight from them at this point when they've got that Aegis backing them up. Yeah,
well, the Aegis won't be lasting that much longer, I guess. Well, 3 minutes until it's gone. We do have the Talisman of Evasion up on the Juggernaut, so that will be a bit more tough to take him down, as there's no MKB just yet, or not even being built yet on the side of MUFC. We do have 1,400 gold up on FC. But yeah, as you said, all those items now up on MUFC should make it easy for them to try and go for something, but it's so difficult to get the right initiation going as... Well, we saw earlier, they ran in all happy and cheerful about going in, and they find a Baron, and one Entangle can just close down their whole plan. So they have to find it properly, and more importantly, they've got one ward next to the Roche Pit, but that's it. They've got some sentry wards, but other than that, the coverage on the other side of the map to be aggressive with, to know where your enemies are, they're just not there. Which is surprising, because normally it is Winter that always said, and Winter that I've learned from, that getting a gem at minute 20 is pretty standard, and you should always aim to have one. But they don't have one, and they also don't have any wards up that really can give them that vision, that can give them that edge in a fight.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get something out of this Aegis. I don't know, there's only 2 minutes left, so it looks like they might just play it a little bit defensively. So yeah, and part of that is just not being able to find the heroes to be able to grab the pickoffs. And I think Hontrash player just wants to finish up some more items as well. That is going to give some more time to Rising Stars. Though, again, I still have to question this Wisp. Super's going to get some aggressive wards down, but, I mean, how many relocates have we seen this game? Just not all that many.
That were actually able to pick up. Well, we saw the one that picked up the Rubik with the Omni Slash, which was nice. Ended up in a trade, though. But the idea was still there, and that's basically the only one that we've actually seen that was able to do something like that. And of course, I remember also yesterday when we saw Super on the Wisp, and they weren't able to get anything with it then either. And right now they're doing it the right way, though. We mentioned it yesterday that when you're with the Wisp, you can just farm, and when the fight actually starts, you can just relocate your carry to the fight. And right now they're just split pushing a bit, and if they're needed, they'll TP mid, where MUFC is pushing down the tier 2 tower and is gonna take it without a fight, and it's gonna be backing off afterwards. So no need to TP. Well, now.
Whoa.
Now they might want to. The trap goes off. The slow is there. Facebooks are there too, though, and I don't think they're gonna be able to chase this. That was
gonna be fine.
very aggressive. Having 4 people TP. Yeah.
Yeah, but they managed. They got the objective that they were aiming for. They didn't give away what Rising Stars were looking for, so they, they shut down that trade. Yes, it cost them a fortification and mass TPs, but working out pretty well in the end. And every single time that it looks like a trade and it's not, well, that's obviously fantastic for whichever team is not being traded against. So we've got the Butterfly now finished on Jug. That's pretty good for him to have. A lot of his survivability in these fights, though, relies on the healing ward. I mean, and just getting Omni Slash damage. 1.2k HP, not really that tanky. Again, especially against what MUFC had. Yes, he does have the B-Fly, so that's really going to help out against the TA and the Gyrocopter, at least for the time being.
Yeah, and now Lone Druid also having a Skull Basher, so that bear is going to be even more of a nuisance. What? Nuisance, thank you. Jeez.
We both can't English today. It's okay.
I don't know why my brain added an extra thing to that, but they're gonna be going in. Meld is there. Dust is being popped out on the Slash. Rubicori out of the way. Can they find more Epicenter? Gonna do what it can, but can't really find anything on the Juggernaut. Vacuum in there. Not really doing that much either, and it's Rising Stars backing off a bit, realizing that they need to get away from that Darkseer wall. Call down coming down, but really again, MUFC not being able to find the initiation. Nice Burrow Strike helping out. Air gonna be picked off, but also FC going down. Now it's gonna be the Juggernaut looking for a pickup. Gonna be able to find too fucking good. Gonna be able to kill them off together with his team, unless he can TP out. He's TPing out. He is safe, and the disruption will save the Shadow Demon from getting killed off by the illusions that were hanging around. But 2 kills going the way of going the way of Rising Stars. No kills for MUFC at all. And they did use everything. They had the wall up, they've had the epicenter, the call down, every single thing. They couldn't get it done. And the initiation wasn't even that flawless from Rising Stars. It felt like, Rambo style, walking in, getting kills.
It kind of looked a little bit weird for MUFC though. So the 3 heroes that were alive, so SK, Gyrocopter, and TA were actually just walking away. And then Darkseer makes the decision to vacuum and drop the wall. And then MUFC, I think there's a split second of hesitation, and then they turn around and come back into the fight. But Rising Stars are already too aware of, where they need to be in the fight, so they don't get caught by the wall. Gyrocopter tries to keep everybody locked on top of the wall, but nobody is standing next to it, so the call down doesn't really connect on anyone. And Rising Stars with the chaotic team fight looking really good for them. And the overcharged Juggernaut is actually putting out a ton of DPS in these fights. So killing the Wisp is actually going to be a pretty big deal. But they've got 2 Blinks to help do it.
Yeah, Lone Druid right now is more of a utility hero. I mean, we talked about it at the start, like you'll have 2 carries, but right now they did shut down Lone Druid, okay-ish. Enough for a bit, but now he is like full of bashes and entangles, and that's all he needs to bring, and he doesn't even need to have that much damage, because that's all in the hands of the Juggernaut, and he definitely has that one. I mean, the Aegis is disappeared by now. Was it actually taken down? No, it was just disappeared.
No, I think it was just a timeout. Yeah.
And Hunter's player
Hunter's
does
player
actually,
is MKB.
yeah, MKB. So he will be able to take down the Juggernaut again if he wants to, if he has the freedom to actually attack him, which is of course gonna be quite needed. And they might just try to wait for Roshan again because he's gonna be up in like 1.5 minutes or so.
Yeah. So the Bear's job in these team fights, I think, is just to keep the gyrocopter away from his team as best he can. It's going to be tough since obviously he's going to have to be in range of the gyrocopter more or less.
Well, we knew that that was an illusion, but we have to imagine Rising Stars didn't. So they really wanted to use a Sonic Wave on that, even though there is no Aghanims up on the Queen of Pain. They really wanted to use that cooldown that is over 2 minutes on that illusion. Yeah. That
Illu got destroyed. Oh, and speaking of getting destroyed, Juggernaut on mid gets caught out.
That's a brilliant pickup. They really could do something
double
with
blinks.
that.
The double blinks are just...
Burrow Strike, Telekinesis. And this should be either warding for a Roshan or maybe even a tier 2 bottom. Or both. I mean, 50 seconds without Juggernaut. I mean, it's 34 minutes in. He is not dead for that long. He is only level 16. He does have a buyback should it really be needed, but I don't think he wants to. And this is going to be a Roshan with just that pickoff.
If they were going to go for it, Super would have already walked back to base and been ready for Juggernaut to buy back so that they could relocate in. So, yeah, they're not. Looks like they're not going to try and contest and just going to have to try and fight against MUFC with that Aegis for another 6 minutes. And how is that going to go? Mofi's doing a pretty good job in terms of farm, but obviously Juggernaut, a lot of that survivability just went straight out the window when he, now that MKB is up on Huntrash player. So.
I guess that was a bit of a surprise to him, of course. It was the first time that a Huntrash player actually showed it. There is actually, well, just a new ward up, I guess, so that's something good. But Rising Stars, they're a bit in the dark. Of course, our tower is not really helping out. Of course, I mean, I guess MUFC has less towers, as we see a bear taking a lot of beating here. Will go down. There is, however, there's no resummon.
No resummon, 1 minute. Yeah, they got it in the Roshan pit as well because Mofi was scouting using the bear to try and see the status of Roshan. So they threw everything on it there, and then bot they managed to catch it out as well when he TPs. So yeah, that's gonna be a reasonably big deal. There is still a tier 2 for them to try and chew through and a fortification, so they're gonna be able to get the resummon up. But Mofi's gonna have to be a little bit more conservative with the bear, at least until he has both the bear back up and the resummon off cooldown. So that's gonna be a while for him. And I don't think MUFC are going to let them have that time. They're just going to push it up onto the high ground. They've got 3k gold in the gyrocopter, 9-second BKB, the Aegis. He's ready to try and siege this one, so Rising Stars needs to be a really good team fight.
Yeah, the TPs are already back. They want to defend this. Let's see how fast they can do this. The tier 3 gets fortified. Air has got a Burrow Strike in his face first. Cooldown coming down as well. He can't do anything. He is going to be out of the game before the fight even starts. Omni Slashes. Doesn't kill off FC. Wisp relocates. Wanted to try and save his Queen of Pain. Not going to be able to do that. So that's going to be that save on cooldown. As Huntrash player comes back in with the flak and he can just stand there bashing on the tower. Gets an entangle though. Takes a lot of damage but has got that Aegis. So won't be too worried about going down. And now also has got a healing ward. That is the courtesy of Rubik. Healing ward does go down though. I think, yeah, it is. Tier 3 tower goes down as well, however. Burrow Strike up on the bear. The kill of this bear will be huge because they don't have a resummon anymore. Tier 3, or barracks rather, gonna get picked off. And there's really nothing without the Queen of Pain that they can do. They don't have the initiation, they don't have an Omni Slash, they don't have Sonic Waves, they don't have anything.
They just don't want to take the fight. I mean, it was only 1 kill for a whole Rax. So
Yeah.
MUFC gonna be really happy with that one. Oh, Bash.
Homie Missile helping out on the surge as well. Epicenter
Winter
being charged up. Winter goes back in. Vacuum as well. Cooldown as well. It is going to be Mofi running for his life. Io getting dropped. Jogger getting dropped. Mofi getting disrupted. But after that, I think he's going to get dropped as well. And that is going to be not a team wipe, but does have some buybacks going. I mean, the buyback were there for the Juggernaut. If he goes down again, that's going to be him out of the game. His butterfly just dodged himself a melt strike, which is nice. H is gonna get popped, but the racks are down. And does MUFC actually wants to rotate middle, or do they want to back off is the question. They still have the Lone Druid on the sidelines for another 30 seconds. And they're gonna go back in. They're gonna be fighting XCD. XCD is gonna be disrupting himself, the delay of execution, but he'll still go down. Juggernaut. Gonna get Burrow Strike soon. There we go. Is there a follow-up? Yes, a cooldown, the telekinesis, and the melt. And of course the gyro with the kill. The last hit. And this should be another set of racks, if not GG. What kind of sound is that?
The relocate mid is slow down.
Oh.
It's a cute play. It sometimes works because the enemy team doesn't have creeps in the base and you intercept their creep wave and you stop, you keep your backdoor protection up, but yeah, it doesn't. It's not gonna happen. So.
They are not able to rotate to the next one though because they still have the tier 2 standing, so at least that's something. But they're gonna take that town.
The good news is that there's no mega creeps yet. But.
Yeah, there's 2 lanes of Rex out and MUFC just looking really solid right now. We have got the Scythe of Ice up on the Darks here with that fight going their way. The gold graph, I mean, it was very even for a long time. But all of a sudden it just plummets, goes towards the 12k. That's a fight that gave 10k to MUFC. We do of course have the experience graph showing the same kind of things. And this is trouble for Rising Stars, because how are they gonna get back from this?
I think the only hope is find a really important pickoff with a relocate, and then you have to find rolling pickoffs as well from that point forward. So you have to kill one, and then when you start to push, somebody has to walk out and you kill them, and then somebody else walks out and you kill them. I mean, there's no tier 2s up, so a push like that with no buybacks on MUFC could work out, but I don't think, MUFC are nearly undisciplined enough. But it looks like the call for Rising Stars can go for team fight.
Yep, and they're gonna be trying to find at least one kill. Omnislash is able to pick up the Dark Seer. Too fucking good, gets it. Huntress player gonna get taking a lot of damage as well, but the Entangle is now gonna be trying. Oh, look at that! Look at that! The MKB! And his own butterfly! Juggernaut, not an MKB. He's still building towards it. And that just... the frustration you can feel from the Juggernaut is just so high. We're gonna be seeing MUFC with full HPs, apart from the Gyro and the Sand King. Gonna be continuing to fight, continuing to pick up everybody of Rising Stars, as XDD is gonna be finding himself in the grave. And that is gonna be the rest also forced back. It will be Mega Creeps, and I think it will be GG.
Yeah, so it looks like Rising Stars unfortunately not going home with anything, but I guess they go home with a little bit of a stronger reputation. They definitely played well. Again, I just think looking a little bit disorganized, not so much in terms of individual play, but just in terms of overall strategies. So that can only improve with more, practice as a team, more experience. And I think, the East qualifiers are going to be a great stage for them as well. They've got a couple of weeks as well, I think, until those start. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them play there.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels like this was the 3rd game with the Wisp that we saw them play, and all 3 they lost. It feels like they need to work a bit on that strat. I like the idea, but it's not really working out that much. They have proven now, though, that they can hold their own against the TA3 teams. But they're gonna have to prove it again in the qualifiers, of course, that start next week. MUFC, they take the 3rd place. This was, of course, a 3rd place decider for the AMD Premier League. We are going to be seeing the grand finals, which are already scheduled to start like 40 minutes ago, but of course they were waiting until this one was over. It's Tong Fu taking on Zenith, and it's a best out of 5 with no winners bracket advantage, and it is going to be an exciting game.
So much Dota.
So much Dota. Well, let's jump ourselves right into that. No delays, at least not any more than there already have been by having this 3rd game played. And of course, follow us on Twitter, on Basskip on Twitter, and SheeverGaming on Twitter. So stick around for another potentially 5 games of Dota. Zenith versus Tong Fu. And I think you're going to be in for a treat, so don't go anywhere.